Hi guys, it's Rachel from On the Round coming to you live on this beautiful Thursday evening. I'm in my studio tonight in Rockport, and I wanted to say goodbye to July because it is August officially. I have survived July, and I wanted to show you what I've been working on and kind of get you up to speed with what's been happening over the last month apart from me dying and going to the beach every day, which essentially is what I have been doing all July. So, hello, welcome. How are you? Um, July. It was a crazy month. We had a lot going on. We did a lot at home. We got a lot of good projects done. We got a new roof, which is a really big, exciting deal because we needed a new roof for a while. It was a very adulty project. Um, we also put in a little more yard and put in a play set for the kids, which has been great. Evan, my husband, who had been working for me this past winter, went back to work with his landscaping company, Greener Grounds Landscaping. So he's been super busy. He mows and does organic tick spray. So he's been very, very, very busy because we have a bit of a tick problem here in Maine. Gosh, what else? So the beach, I've definitely been going to the beach. I go to the beach every day for real. That's not pretend. I love to swim and I love to sit and knit and watch my kids play, and just I feel a very deep need to suck up every last drop of sun that comes our way here. And in Maine, it's been incredible. It's been one of the best summers we've had in a long time. It's been about 70 degrees every day and sunny and nice, and just we love it and the kids love it. So we have been doing a lot of that, and I've been doing a lot of dyeing, getting inventory back in the shop since Maryland, and doing a ton of wholesale orders. We added some great new shops this month, or last month rather. We are now being carried at the Yard Goods Center in Waterville, Maine, Yarn in the Farms in Beverly, Massachusetts, Thistledown Shop Over the Rainbow in Rockland, Knit Locally in Maryland. So if you are out traveling this summer, definitely check out the down in the bottom of my website. There's I think it's Shop Local or Nearby, and there's a list of stockists, so you can see if maybe there's a shop near you that's carrying yarn, or a shop near where you're going to be vacationing. If you're coming to Maine, most of the shops in the major cities carry my yarn, so you can come and get some on the round yarn locally. Or if you were coming to Midcoast, Maine, you could set up an appointment to come to my studio. It's not set up like a shop, but you're welcome to come in to my inventory room and shop and look at all my samples and have a gab. I'm always good for a gab, so we'd love to have you. And the best way to reach me is always through Facebook Messenger or the contact page on my website. So if you wanted to set up an appointment, reach me there. And Instagram too, but I'm not always great at seeing messages on Instagram because it does a weird thing. If I don't follow you, I can't, it doesn't alert me that I have a message. So not always the best place to reach me. And neither is Ravelry, because I know somebody emailed me the other day and was like, I sent you messages on Ravelry and you never responded. And I'm not great with Ravelry. I use Ravelry for my patterns, but it never even occurs to me to check the messages there. But this is, Facebook's always a great way to reach me because I'm here a ton. And so live videos I'm going to get back to doing on the regular now that the temperatures kind of settled down. It can get really hot in my studio. I don't have air conditioning because I hate air conditioners. So I just run some fans and it gets really hot in here. So typically we come in and dye in the morning, make it really hot and leave. And then I haven't been working nights as much because I've been at the beach until kind of bedtime most of the time. But I am here tonight. And, gosh, what else? So I thought I would just show off some of what's on my needles right now. I've got a ton of projects. I was working solely on my one sweater, but I was getting really bored with it, so I decided to just have like a mass cast on, and I got a bunch of projects going, and now I'm like halfway through a ton of projects, so it's great. And I've been trying to get back to doing some swatches, so I do have a couple swatches to show you. I've got a bunch skeined up to come, and there's going to be a lot more in August. I'm going to try and focus on that a little bit more, but I do have some to show you right now. So I guess we'll get right to that. I'll show you what I've been working on for knitting. So if you have any questions about anything either too, leave it in the comments. I probably won't be able to see it while we're chatting because my camera's too far away and I'm just using my phone, so it's really small. But I will answer any questions that you have in the comments. And so also if you're watching this video much later, hi Polly, then you can... See, when I try and read the comments, I'm like, hi, Dottie. I will definitely respond. So if you have a question, leave it. Or possibly leave your question and I will get to it for future videos. My goal is to do at least 2 live videos a month. I like doing them kind of just like, hi, Polly. I like doing them kind of on the fly just because I never know exactly like what my time situation is going to be like. But my plan is, here's my plan. So I'm going to take these videos and then I'm going to download them and then post them on YouTube and then embed them on the blog portion of my website, which you may have noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed, but the blog section of my website is now up. And then I'll do show notes and stuff on there. So anything we talk about on this video, if I show you a pattern or you see a swatch, that you really liked, I'll put the links and all of the information you might need in the show notes on my blog, probably the next day, because that will take some time. Oh, and the website. So I did, I think it might have been June even. I don't even know when I did it, but I updated the website and I completely changed the look. I didn't really talk about it at all. I just kind of did it, but I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really clean and nice. I have a lot more edits to come over the next couple months. I don't do a ton of computer work in the summer because I don't like to just like sit down on a computer, obviously, and I don't have internet at the beach. So there will be more changes coming over the next month. You know, the goal is always with my website to make it as clear as possible of the yarn and the swatches, and just I want to try and create an experience like you might have if you were with me in person or if you saw me at a show on the website. So that's always what my goal is, and if you have any suggestions for something you'd like to see on the website, I would love to know. I do all the work myself, so that's why it can sometimes take a while. And if you're waiting for a swatch to show up in a listing and you're wondering why it's taking so long, it's because it's just me plugging away at it. So the goal for 2017 is to have swatches on every listing for every base, photographed and in the listing. So I'm also trying to add more pictures so that the yarn isn't just featured on the white backdrop and, you know, maybe on the blue wall or just, I don't know, out and about, because I think that gives you a better idea of what the colors are like depending on the backdrop. I always do my photographs on this nice piece of wool because, which kind of gives it more of a dull look. Like I know on a lot of other websites it has that like really bold white pop, but the problem with that with yarn is you really lose the subtleties in the yarn and the textures. So I find that doing it on that piece of wool really it captures what the yarn is actually like. It allows you to see the textures. It allows you to see the different pops of colors in a really realistic way. So Oh, that's that with the website. The website, never ending, never ending. But so the blog tag is up now, and I'm going to try and start posting more over there. My goal for the blog is to take all those little tidbits that I put into the world on Facebook and on Instagram, and all just like the little like 140 characters that I put out there all the time. I'm going to try and expand on the posts that you guys really like and respond to, and just give you a little bit more, and more pictures and more talking about different things. I'll do yarn features and swatch features and talk about the bases, and then I'll also post all the live videos over there. So if you maybe don't catch it when it's live because I do it so sporadically, then you can always tune in over there. So back to knitting. So here's what I have. We'll start with my Lady Fisher sweater because that's what I started July with. I cast this on July 1st, and I worked on it like hot and heavy for the first, I don't know, like 2 weeks. And I got really far. This is the front. The light's not great in here, so the colors might seem a little off, but it's best we can do at night. So this is the Lady Fisher sweater. And it has this nice garter paneling. I'm doing a size large. And I'm using Everyday Fingering in the Crystal Trade colorway. And I want to say it's a size 4 needle for this project. Which, it's the same designer, 4 millimeters, size 6. Size 6 needle. It's really cute though. I'm excited about it, and I do need to get back to it. Oops. I literally haven't touched it for like the last 2 weeks because I burned out hard. I used to be the type of knitter that would just sit down and work on one project until it was done, but now I'm not that knitter anymore. I'm really happy with this colorway though. So again, this is Crystal Trade, and it's got so much depth in it, and it's like it's like, is it pink? Is it orange? I don't know. And then there's all these pops of yellow and aqua, and then when the aqua hits the orange, it turns this really pretty bronze green, and so just lots of little subtle flecks in the sweater. I think it's going to look really great to wear this fall with some dark blue jeans or whatever, but I definitely, talking about it now is really making me want to get back to it because that's going to be a great sweater to wear. So it has this like garter panel, almost like the flax sweater has the garter panel on the sleeve, except it has the garter panel here. And then it's like this nice A-line shape. And I think it has a little swoop, a little butt swoop. I like the butt swoop. I think it'll be very flattering. I'm not a tiny person, so I'm always looking for patterns that are flattering for a womanly body. Because sometimes those like really big, bulky, like crazy designs, like the Enchanted Mesa sweater and stuff, like they don't look great if you're not a super skinny person. So that's generally the patterns that I share are for us lady types, or full-figured lady types. And then so another project that I have on my needles is my brioche bandana cowl, which I was having a lot of fun with. I really do like doing the brioche stitch. It's fun, and this is a great practice cowl if you wanted to learn the brioche stitch because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's worked in the round. And then I have to take measurements. I haven't looked at the pattern in a while, but then you're going to do like a little triangle. So you're going to go back and forth brioche. So you'll get to practice both, because the stitch is a little different depending if you're working in the round or if you're going back and forth. And I am using Everyday Light. I like the Everyday Light base. It's my single ply fingering weight base because brioche is a double knit, so it gets a little bulkier, and the light base stays really lightweight, and it really blooms when you block it. So I think it's going to be really pretty. I did make a mistake though. I was like twisting one stitch just wrong, and I realized it about halfway through this part, because like this stitch is supposed to be the same on both sides and mine isn't, because I was like coming in through the front or the back. I don't even know which I was doing at this point, but I was coming in from the wrong direction, so it's not the same on each side, but I don't really care. I just decided, I figured out what I did, but then I was like, well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing so it stays uniform, because I'm not a rip out and start over kind of gal. That's not my move. Lesson learned. And she has this pattern available for DK weight, bulky, and fingering, I believe. I'll post a link to the pattern in the comments after this video is done, or in my show notes tomorrow. I'm doing the fingering version. But it's been a really fun knit, and I just kind of like pick it up and go at it, do a few rounds and move on. I'm using Black Magic and Time Travelers, not Speckled Time Travelers, which is a variegated colorway, and I really like variegated colorways in brioche because it breaks up the color so you don't get that weird pooling, and it really does fun, unexpected things. So I really recommend pairing brioche with a variegated yarn. If you have a variegated yarn and you didn't want to use it, try brioche. So there's that project. I also was doing some sock swatches, and I started one for Afterglow because I couldn't believe that I hadn't done an Afterglow. This colorway's been around for almost a year now, and I totally lost it, but I just hadn't got to it. So I did do this past winter, I don't know if you remember, but I did a combination sock. I don't have it with me right now, but where I paired Afterglow and Northern Lights alternating, and that was really cool. But so anyway, I started doing a swatch in Afterglow, and then I just couldn't stop because I was so happy with the way that it was working up. And these are going to be some fantastic fall socks. I'm really happy. I did a short row heel, and so you can see it pooled differently in a short row heel because you're working back and forth. If you didn't want your colorway to pool differently, then I recommend doing an afterthought heel. So an afterthought heel, you knit to where the heel would be, then you take scrap yarn and knit back and forth just where the heel will go, and then pick back up and just keep going in your regular yarn. And then once the sock's done, you pick up the stitches, cut out that waste yarn, and then knit the heel just like you would knit the toe. So it will be more uniform with the rest of your sock. And of course, the other thing you can do is use a different color, a contrasting color on the heel or toe. But I didn't mind the way the short row heel worked up. I thought that was kind of cool. But I'm really happy with these socks. I'm an orange lover for life. So this is like everything. And this would be a great, if you're looking for something maybe for a man or in your life, this would be a great colorway. And of course the colors will pool differently depending on how many stitches you put on, what size needle you use, gauge. I'm using a size 1 needle with this one, and I have 60 stitches on the needle because I have a really narrow foot. But if you're not happy with the way your yarn is pooling, just maybe try a different needle size or casting on a couple more stitches or a few less stitches. So, but I think that's really great. I'm debating on whether I wanted it to be a tall sock or a short sock. That's why I kind of lost my mojo, because I was like, am I done and I'm going to cuff? I like shorter socks a lot, but then I was like thinking maybe I want them longer so that you could see it out of a boot. I don't know. Who knows where that's going to go? Time will tell. So there's that. I don't have a shawl on the needles right now, which is kind of crazy. I kind of burned out from shawls, even though I have like 1,000 patterns that I want to knit. I love knitting them, but I don't love wearing them. I guess I do in the winter. I don't know. I'm in like sweater mode. I'm loving the sweaters right now. Which brings me to my Effortless cardigan, which I'm knitting in Silver Lining Tweed. And I have been looking for a Silver Lining Tweed sweater pattern for so long, just because I wanted it to be something that I would be great to wear all the time. So I kind of had a cardigan in mind, and I've had a really hard time finding cardigans that I like. There's a lot of patterns out there, but I'm very particular about my cardigans. So I was on Instagram, I think it was last week when I started this, and someone had posted a picture of their finished Effortless cardigan, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I love that. That's so great. So I immediately went over to Ravelry and searched it, realized that I already owned the pattern, which was terrific. It's for DK Weight, which I have no samples in DK Weight. I don't know how that happened. No, I do know how that happened. So for a while, it was harder to get DK Weight. Like, it would get backed up in the mill a lot. And so I finally got ahead of it, and I got a ton in stock, so I don't have to like skimp with it. And so now I can knit with it and knit swatches with it. And I'm really happy and really excited because knitting a DK Weight sweater is so much faster than a fingering weight sweater. So much faster. Which is why I've been binge knitting this project, because I'm so happy with it and I love this yarn. Silver Lining Tweed, for those of you that don't know, is one of my first speckled colorways. First it was Rainbow Tweed, and so Rainbow Tweed was, I don't do Rainbow Tweed anymore, although I've been playing with the idea of bringing it back. But Rainbow Tweed was this great speckled rainbow, but not like layered in like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, like Cosmic Rainbow is. Instead, the rainbow speckles were just kind of like all over. And I don't have any, I have a sample knit with it, but I don't have it with me and I don't want to get up. But anyway, so then I did Rainbow Tweed for a while, and then I thought, what if I dyed Rainbow Tweed, if I over dyed it in gray, so that it would kind of like deepen up those rainbow colors and just create like a more subtle rainbow. And like, everybody loves gray, so it was an experiment gone incredibly right. This is probably the oldest colorway that I have that's still available. I think I'll ever get rid of it because I love it so hard. Anyway, I guess I'll show it to you. So this is Silver Lining Tweed. So as you can see, the like little flecks of color, they're just like random, which keeps it cohesive. There's no real pooling. They're just kind of all over the place. Sorry, this light is terrible. I will have better pictures of this as we go. But it's super pretty. And then the gray has like a lot of depth of color. There's like lighter and dark parts. So it's just interesting, and it's pretty, and it'll look really great with black because I wear a lot of black and gray and just like jeans and stuff. So it'll look really great. Like, I'm just going to wear the heck out of this thing. I'm so excited about it. And it's a great pattern. It's sort of, it's pretty open because there's going to be a big ribbing section, and there's no closure. It just hangs. Effortless cardigan by Hannah Fetting, and I'm pretty sure she's a Mainer. Knitbot. So, and this is Everyday DK. I've finished the arms past that. I'm in the shaping in the middle. And then I got to go 11.5 inches from under the arm. And then I'll pick up and do all the ribbing. I love it though. This is what I've been knitting at the beach. Definitely all week. I don't know if I've been working on this 2 weeks or just 1 week. But I can't stop. I love it. I'm doing a size large, and it's 6 skeins, which is a sweater lot. A sweater. Somebody asked me the other day, they didn't know how many skeins a sweater lot. A sweater lot is 6 skeins. And I found that pattern, and then I had just dyed a sweater lot of Silver Lining Tweed. So it all just came together beautifully, and I'm using my Knitter's Pride Nova needles, Platina Novas. These are my favorite needles ever. I just go so fast. I love it, and they've got a great point. I'm changing all my needles. I'm just buying these because I love them. They're my jam. And so Christina from Matterroot was here on Monday because the Medomic Fiber Art Retreat run by Casey of Port Fiber, they came through on Monday and did a little tour, which was great. This is a fiber arts retreat that's near and dear to my heart because it takes place on Washington Pond, which is where I grew up as a kid, and I love it there so much. So a group of knitters who were at the retreat came through on Monday, and Christina from Matterroot set up a table. I posted a picture of it. I think I posted a picture of it on Facebook, but we had a lot of fun. They came and bought stuff, and Christina brought me a deluxe trundle bag with this gorgeous sheep on it. And you know I love her bags. So this one's especially good because it's perfect for sweaters. It's big. I still have to ball up all my yarn, but it will definitely fit in here because this thing's starting to get big. So this is the perfect project bag for a sweater if you were looking one. That's the deluxe trundle bag. And then I also have, and this is my final active project at the moment, another pair of socks. These are my Princess Bubblegum socks. I love this colorway. It's so fun. It's really unexpected. It's a super subtle pink. It's named after Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. It streams on Hulu and Cartoon Network, I think might be where it is. We don't have cable, so I don't know, but it's such a funny show. I love it. My kids and I watch it all the time. So this colorway is named after Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. But it's a really nice soft pink. And then I speckle scarlet, red, chartreuse, and turquoise on it. And then all those colors kind of come together. So there's like kind of a bronzy green and a little orange. And then there's like kind of the shadow of the colors on there. And it's a great yarn to knit with. It's fun. And it looks good with patterns too because somebody posted one. I don't know the name of the sock, but it had this really pretty lattice and it worked awesome. So this is a really fun colorway. If you have any Princess Bubblegums in your life that need some socks, or maybe you're a Princess Bubblegum, I don't know. I definitely am. I do this colorway on all my bases too. I was just talking with my friend Kristen about a Princess Bubblegum DK sweater. That's going to be awesome. I don't even know how I did this, but so I bought 2.25 millimeter needles for my Lady Fisher sweater for the neck and the cuffs. And somehow, and I bought new sock needles to go at the same time. And for some reason, I grabbed this 2.25 millimeter needle and started knitting my sock. And the whole time I was knitting, I was like, these seem really thick compared to my other needles. Maybe it's just the brand. And I'm knitting and I'm like, my sock seems a little smaller than normal because this is sock number 2. And then it occurred to me that I was using a much bigger needle than normal. No, that's right. 2.25 millimeter is a size 1. So that's not big. But it seems bigger. Anyway, that's the thing about different brand needles. They seem completely different because my other size 1 needles that I use, these awful ones, they hook here, but they're so much smaller. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I have on my needles here. I don't think I'm going to cast on another project until I get something finished because I didn't finish anything in July. Not a thing. Not a single thing. Nope, that's not true. I did some swatches. I did 3 swatches, so. Let's see. So I swatched for a sock. Yes, Polly, I'm doing magic loop on my socks. I always do now. I started doing magic loop with my sock swatches, doing toe up. I'll never stop. I love it. I was a DPN girl forever because I love DPNs, but magic loop's so much faster. And I don't get so many jogs. But I don't like doing 2 at a time. because things get tangled up too easily. And my socks are a project that I take on the go. So like I may like grab it and knit a few rows if we're at the library or if we're at the playground or something. And I just find if I'm doing 2 at a time, I usually like by the time I pick up my needles and get something going, it's like by the time I'm untangled, I have to get up and help a kid with something, and I didn't even get to knit anything. So while I really like the idea of 2 at a time socks, it just, given the current state of my life, it just doesn't make sense. And you know what? I am okay with only knitting one if I don't finish a pair, because I have so many socks that I want to knit that if I just knit one, I wear mismatched socks. I don't care. I'm proud of it. I think it's cool. My kids wear mismatched socks because I will never match their socks. So we all fit in. So sock swatch. I did get Crystal Trade swatched. Came out really good. Can't see if you can see it. These colors are terrible. But again, I love this colorway. There's so much depth in it. There's so many little subtle details. A lot of colors tucked away in there. So it's a really fun knit. I put this in the speckle category, not the tonal speckle. It does have a base color. It's like an ivory color in the background, but it's heavy speckled on the top. And the speckles changed the initial color, the initial ivory. So like something I would consider a tonal speckle would be something that I have dyed tonal dark and then just put a few subtle speckles on. Whereas if it's just speckle, then it's just got like a heavy speckle, and a lot of colors. So an example of a tonal speckle would be Black Magic, which I just swatched up on DK. And this this was a size 7 needle. And it's got a nice drape to it. It's not thick at all. But so you can see it's a nice dark colorway, and then there's speckles of chartreuse and bright purple. And the way the bright purple breaks, sometimes it's a little bluer and sometimes it's a little redder. So there's a lot of depth and variation. Same with the chartreuse. Sometimes it's really dark, sometimes it's really light. And it just creates a nice, interesting texture. It's less crazy than the speckle dyes, but it's not as boring as knitting with just like a solid yarn, because I don't think I could ever knit anything with just a solid yarn. That would be too boring for me. So that's Black Magic on Everyday DK. And then this whole time I thought I had got Rising Tide available on all the bases, and then it came to my attention last week that I did not. It was not on DK. So as soon as I figured that out, I dyed it up. And I really like the way this colorway took on this base. So Rising Tide, first I dye it with this sort of, it's called Ocean Green, and it's just a really soft green colorway. So that's the back. It almost looks gray, depending on the light, like on this terrible light. And then I really heavily speckle it with jewel tones, like navy blue and this really deep kind of magenta color, and then gold and a really deep green. So those colors kind of come together to create new colors and are represented themselves, and it just makes for a really nice, pretty, jewelly, rich colorway. And it has a lot of depth. There's a lot of subtleties in color, because the way when you speckle dye, sometimes it breaks the color that you put on, and when a color breaks, it like separates. So all these other colors come out depending on like the temperature. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but it just makes for a lot of fun, interesting pops of color that kind of come throughout. And then again, these speckle dyes and the tonal speckles are what I call cohesive chaos. So it will work up uniform in its craziness. So you won't get those big pools of color like would happen if you were using a variegated yarn, and it will stay consistent no matter where you're at on the project. Like if you're working on the yoke and it's really wide and then you go to the arm and it's really narrow, it's going to look the same. And also because of the depth of color, you're not going to get, you don't have to worry too much about working stranded when you change your yarns. Like for example, when I was changing to the next skein on my Effortless cardigan using the Silver Lining Tweed, basically I do the same effect that you do with the fade sweaters, mosquito, where you just alternate. You do like a row with one skein, a row with another, a row with another, a row with another for about 10 rows, and then you just go on with the new skein. So you just kind of transition it in just to be sure that you don't get a line. And with my yarn that works. If you're working with a solid yarn, you're going to want to fade more because solids is just a different game. But there's so much depth in either the tonals or the speckled tonals that you don't have to be carrying yarn the whole way, if that makes sense. You can be a little more lazy about it. So I'm going to try and get to more DKs. I'm going to focus on DKs and sock swatches probably for August. So if there's a color that you're dying to see swatched, please let me know and I will try and get to it as fast as possible. When I have a lot of projects going though, my desire to do swatches isn't as great. So like once I finish a bunch of stuff, then I'll kind of like hammer down on swatches for a big chunk. And I do have New England Fiber Festival in November, so I will have a big crunch for swatches for that. Because I do have a granite swatch, Polly. I will post a picture of the granite swatch tomorrow when the light's right, because that gray is going to not look accurate in this light. So keep an eye out for that tomorrow. I have it on the fingering and the light base, and I will get it on DK this week for you. And I do have a few new colors in the works. I don't want to give you any spoilers on that yet, but I will say this, they are darker colors that will be really great for fades, that will work in with my existing palette. I know Andrea Mowry came out with a new fade pattern, some mystery along. So if you wanted to get some yarn for that, of course, message me and I can help you come up with a fade. And I think probably next week I'll try and get some in. I definitely have 3 new colors for sure. There might be a 4th. I'm still playing around with it in between doing wholesale orders and other things. And I would, the goal would be to have the swatches ready when I release the yarn. We'll see if that is realistic or not. But I think you're going to like them, and they're going to be great for fall and winter. That's all I'm going to say. And so that brings me to the moment you didn't know you were waiting for. It is summer sale time. Woo, summer sale. So every year I do a summer sale, and I have done a summer sale every single year since I started making yarn, even when I was on Etsy. And it's never at a set time because it really just depends what I have going on in the summer. Last year the summer sale was in July because it was when I went camping for a full week, and that was super fun. I was hoping to do it again this year, but I just did not have time. I am going to try and sneak in a little camping with my friend here next week, but anyway, I digress. Summer sale. So 25% off starting tonight, ends Sunday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So this weekend you can have 25% off if you use coupon code SUMMERSALE, SUMMERSALE, all one word, all capitals. You guys are the first to know about this because I haven't posted it anywhere, and I'm not going to post it anywhere until tomorrow. So you can get, everything is in stock right now. Everything that I have listed is in stock. Sweater lots you can get if you want, yarn sets, little skein sets, whatever you want, 25% off this weekend only for my summer sale. I am going to use this as a moment to take a day off. So I'm hoping while you guys are enjoying the summer sale, I can take a break from dying for a minute and come in and put my feet up. They're, depending on the order volumes on the sale, might be slightly slower shipping, but I think we should be okay because Evan said he'll come in and help me on Sunday to do shipping. So he's super fast when it comes to shipping. He's the man when it comes to big order times. So please take advantage of that. The code, I believe, is already up and you can use it right now. Again, the code is summer sale, one word. Yeah, it's active now. And that concludes this live video for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in if you did. If you were here live, that's awesome. I will go and respond to your comments now that I can read them. And if you're not live and you're catching this video later, go ahead and use the summer sale code. It will be available until Sunday, August 6th. All right. And we will be doing this again soon. I will not go away for so long again. Like I said, I'm going to try and do 2 a month. So we'll kind of get this on the regular, and I'll get these videos posted over on the blog at ontheround.com with show notes and pattern links and just all the information of anything that we talked about today. And if you have any questions for me or something you would like me to talk about or a yarn you would like to swatch, please leave a comment here and I will put it on my to-do list. All right, friends, I hope you have a great night and we'll talk soon. Bye.